I am Simon Edgley, 15 10 72, National Insurance, NY 58 04 40A. I'm autistic, ADHD. I have 2 PTSDs, 4 CPTSDs. I am also a vulnerable adult, a victim of domestic abuse, and an awful lot more. I am a victim of abuse, discrimination and hate from 2013 until now across 3 counties. I am contacting the court to get the protection of safeguarding as per the document I sent on Friday. Being autistic is the only set of protective characteristics to require its own law, the Autism Act. Yet that has not stopped the council, the police, or the most heinous of all, the court, from subjecting me daily to living conditions I have outlined in the document under human rights, or rather breach of human rights. I need to be clear. The hate I have faced, I believe, on 8 separate occasions from the English court system has me feeling physically unwell as I am forced to turn to court for protection. It is how I'm feeling right now. The hate the court has shown me is so great that I had to plead guilty to a crime I was, as the police themselves told me, innocent of. Standing behind 2 inches of bulletproof glass, not being allowed to wear a baseball cap, essentially kicked in my selective mutism, because I'm pretty sure we're innocent until guilty, and why anyone has to stand behind 2 inches of bulletproof glass and is supposed to speak to a judge through a gap like that. Anyway, however, this is first and foremost about safeguarding. The document has details of what I need. As I am autistic, every part of me is screaming to justify everything. However, safeguarding specifically does not require that. Safeguarding requires that I am made safe, given time to feel safe, and then investigated to see if I'm telling the truth, or, like Winchester City Council did, lying to the court. I'll just say that again. Winchester City Council perjured themselves to Winchester Court to get me evicted. And yes, of course, I filled in the forms to get it reassessed. And guess what? I was ignored. I understand one would normally have a lawyer to make this application. Irrespective of me not having the £10,000 that would require as a minimum, my situation is so serious that if I do not hear from a clerk of the court by close of Monday, it is all the evidence, based on the existing evidence that I have, that yet another court believes in hate and not protecting the citizens of this land. Because I know of the fast track system, and I have used the fast track system, and it works. Obviously it wasn't anything to do with me. As to what I will do if I do not hear from court, after all, it takes less than, if I'm being very generous, 5 minutes to simply send a text acknowledging me. I don't know. After all, the following people have all been asked to do nothing other than their job before I dare contact court. These people have also been made aware that I'm coming to court, and not a single one of them has attempted mediation before court. As far as I'm aware, that in itself is quite serious. Anyway, here are the people. The council, safeguarding, the ombudsman, my Minister of Parliament, Dr. Peter Princely, whose hate for me is so extreme, he has used the police to visit me and threaten me with harassment. And all I am trying to do is make him aware of a crime. The Chief Whip, my MP's boss, the Speaker of the House, and most significantly Jess, the Minister for Safeguarding, who quite proudly advertises all the people she'd gone out of her way to help. However, all she's done is ignore me, making her aware of a minority that is so scared of itself, it will always believe itself to be at fault. It will never think other people are at fault. Why? Because of failing of hidden rules. The difference with me is I have screaming ADHD, and in 2013 the country's leading expert who has spent 15 years helping people like me with life undiagnosed autism took a day's holiday to visit the staff at Kingston Hospital. She could not believe the stories I've been telling her for a year. After that meeting, we spoke outside, and please excuse my language because I'm going to quote her direct. This is a lady who has helped people from prisoners up to Oxford professors and whatever. She turned to me and looks at me, and I do excuse my language, but I believe the court would want accuracy. Simon, you are fucked. It is like the fucking dark ages in there. In my 15 years of helping people, I have never met anyone with a gob on them like you. So I'm making it your moral responsibility to do what you seem to do and get this autistic pain we live in recognised, protected and limited and stopped. If I say any more, which I've obviously done because I've not looked at my notes, it is not because safeguarding requires me to. It is because a life of being autistic is exactly what a life of being an alien who looks like one of the native species is. Whatever. What I mean is, I speak English, but do not assume you know what I mean without checking. And I'll give one other example. If I say sitting under a certain temperature of white light, which these are not, is like a shower of nails, I mean that exactly. I mean that. Why? Because being autistic means my brain is not wired in the typical manner, which means stimuli that a native species wouldn't even notice has the potential to cause me physical pain, as that has to be understood and remembered at all times. Because I'm pretty sure most of you, and let's not forget the fact that the people making decisions about autistics are not autistic. And if I meet anyone who tells me I know autism, I'll say, there's the door. If I meet someone who says I know an autistic, they're in my life, I'll hug them and cry, because my parent, anyway. As that must be remembered, when an autistic is triggered via one of their traits, it comes with a physical pain of varying degree. The worst it has ever been for me is what I imagine a stiletto, i.e. a double-sided blade, slipping in between two ribs and piercing some part of me inside. And that was just from words from a native species. In the US of A, there are now a number of states that recognise this phenomenon and have deliberately, there are a number of states that recognise this and have made deliberately triggering an autistic the crime of physical assault in exactly the same way a person would be charged if they punched someone in the face. Wrap your heads around that, people, because I'm pretty sure most of you who are watching this haven't even heard of the Autism Act, let alone read it, or any of the numerous books written for the legal professionals to understand why this is not this. And look, I am justifying, and so I stop with a little bit more. Please do not fall for how I look or sound. I am currently very, very broken. It was my plan to take 2 or 3 times my allowed daily ADHD meds tomorrow, as this would allow me to get all the way from the only safe place I have in this world, which the council are illegally trying to evict me from, because I have an audio recording of the council saying the equivalent of, we know you're autistic, but if you can't do this task, which is autistically impossible, in the same way as a blind person reading a book, we will evict you. Yes, I have that as an audio recording, which is not admissible in court, but allegedly the transcription is. The problem is, when I get to court, I have to find the words just to get past security, because I've tried this before. And I end up writing a letter. I hand a letter over, and the security guy goes, "What are you here for?" And I read the letter. And anyway. But I can't. I am that broken. And if I tell you a secret, the only reason I'm doing this now, because Sunday is the one day where I don't take my ADHD meds, and I normally have a resting day and relax. But I can't afford to, because the council attacked me again on Friday, despite me being very clear. All you got to do is follow the Autism Act, and we can work together and solve it. Anyway. Yes, I want to justify. However, I know that safeguarding specifically is there. I know that safeguarding recognises that someone unsafe cannot operate correctly until they are made safe, and then allow time to feel safe. And my very simple request, which costs the council no more money than they're currently spending, and fulfills the conditions that they told me in the meeting, because the bedroom rule, it turns out, isn't actually a real rule. There are only 3 rules which the audio recording concerns themselves with the council, and whether someone can live in a place, because the council have offered me 2 beds, but because they do not look at the world through my eyes, they won't offer me all 2 beds. And if I have to explain why they have to offer me all 2 beds if they're looking to the world through my eyes, I am talking to someone who does not know autistics. So would you please go and find someone who does? At all times I wish to recognise I am speaking to the courts of the once Great Britain. At all times I wish to come across politely and respectfully. What I won't do is hide how this is affecting me, because the people in charge need to know what the people on the streets are actually forced anyway. That's important. And with that, I, Simon, Alexander Charles Edgley, swear on the only thing I now have in my life that matters, the life of my little cat, that everything I have said here and emailed is the truth, the whole truth, if only the surface of it, and nothing but the truth. So, help me, God. Please. But it's fine. After all, this is the 12th year, so Simon, don't expect anything to come from this. Simon, all you've got to do is merge the audio, video and upload it. You don't worry about making it look professional, you just have to get this done. It's now, oh gosh, 1:45. By 3 o'clock this will be finished, and I would try and roast the beef that I've got and the Yorkshire puddings, because that's what normal, typical people get to do on a Sunday. Have a roast dinner. And no, I will not be having it alone because I've got my cat. I have to remember this. I'm only alone from humans. Sorry. I wish to thank the court for its time and pray for its help. Thank you.